At my very first nursing job, I definitely felt very isolated in the terms that I was the only, like, of my ethnicity, Chinese in population. I had a wonderful time working with my fellow Filipino coworkers. Um, and then I'm kind of like, I call myself kind of like what we call a banana because I look Asian on the outside, but I am really just American in culture on the inside, white banana on the inside. So I would get along with my coworkers and I would just find myself like because my own cultural backgrounds would bring in like things that would be very apparent to me or like very shocking for my fellow coworkers, or I'd be just very astounded at like certain situations that happen on there. And it's like, oh, my family doesn't do that kind of situations because they're all very cordial and huggy, and I'm just like no hugs or kind of situation because I just wasn't grown up around that. It was not normal. So it was a lot of getting used to, but I think I acclimated well because I advocated well for myself. And I think that really is important in just, it's one thing to express your needs and then they don't need it, obviously. And the other time is express and they try to need it. So I had a wonderful time with my first job. And then I guess the situation right now is just I kind of wish there was more people that I see like me, but I mean, nursing profession is drastically like just diverse. I have met some of the most super smart, super like critical thinking like nurses, and then I have some of the most emotionally just I would say artistic in the way of them being able to communicate with patients and talk to them, that I'm every single day just learning. And it's a wonderful experience to be around a diverse coworker population because everyone brings something to the table. You only need to look for it, and you can learn so much from just your fellow coworkers. It was like even amongst my classmates here, like hearing their banter back and forth with the professors and my own is like, it was just very illuminating at the thought process that they go through to get to their conclusion that I did not even consider to think about. So like that environment was just very, very, very precious, I would say. It's not something you can easily reproduce because it requires coworkers and people to be willing to be open and, confident in their own practice. I feel like I was just so paranoid when I was in the ER because I was afraid of people just dropping dead in the bed. Like I'd have vital machines on everyone, even if they came in for like, an ankle injury. And ironically, it saved me this one time. Like this 23-year-old that came in. Yeah, he had some history of substance abuse. Came in, was just sleeping, but we found like a 3rd-degree heart block on him because I put the leads on him and we saw his heart rate drop so low and we're like, hey dude, you okay? And because like I built my practices around the nurses and their stories of telling me these bad situations that happen, and therefore I developed kind of like these safeguard rigid practices that I do as a standard across the board for everyone. It has come in and I say saved me quite a few times. And yeah, maybe an incidental finding, but had something else happened and we didn't know about it, it would be a concern, right? So getting more comfortable with my own practice obviously is always a fight because you get lax and then something happens, like got to tighten up again. Can't let these things slide. Is always a battle. So I think that's with everything. You don't want to get too comfortable. You always want to be on your toes.